There are stories that should never be told. Mysteries buried in time, secrets whispered in the dark, shadows that move when no one is watching. Some say the unknown is better left untouched, but here, we bring it to light. Welcome to the Unspoken Files, where we uncover the most terrifying and unexplained horrors in history. But be warned, some things are meant to stay forgotten. Some things are watching back. Subscribe if you dare. Sometimes, the most innocent-looking objects hold the darkest secrets. In 2004, a college student named Donna made a simple purchase, an old raggedy doll from a small antique shop. She thought it was just a harmless decoration, but she was wrong. Strange noises in the dead of night, messages appearing out of nowhere, and a sinister presence lurking just beyond the veil of reality. This is not just a story, this is a warning. Stay with me as I uncover the terrifying true story of the most haunted doll in history. If you're brave enough, keep watching, but be warned, some stories have a way of staying with you long after they're told. It was a chilly autumn afternoon in 2004 when Donna stepped into a small, dust-covered antique shop on the outskirts of town. The air smelled of aged wood and forgotten memories. Shelves lined with old trinkets, porcelain figures, and vintage books surrounded her. But something in the back of the store caught her attention. A doll. It sat slumped in an old rocking chair, its faded dress covered in delicate lace, its glassy eyes reflecting the dim overhead light. The doll's face was cracked in places, its stitched smile slightly crooked, almost as if it had been watching Donna the entire time. An elderly shopkeeper shuffled out from behind the counter, her pale blue eyes fixated on the doll. "You have an interest in her?" she asked, her voice raspy, almost hesitant. Donna smiled. "She's unique." The woman studied her carefully. After a pause, she leaned in and whispered, "Be careful with that doll. It's not just an ordinary doll." Donna chuckled, shaking off the unease that prickled at her skin. "It's just a doll," she reassured herself. Without another thought, she bought it and brought it home. She had no idea what she had just invited into her life. That night, Donna placed the doll on her bed and went about her usual routine, brushing off the lingering unease from the shopkeeper's warning. The first strange occurrence was minor. The next morning, as she got ready for class, she noticed the doll wasn't in the same position she had left it. Instead of sitting upright, it was slumped over, facing the doorway. "Maybe I knocked it over," she muttered to herself. But the disturbances didn't stop. A few nights later, while studying in her room, Donna swore she saw the doll's head tilt ever so slightly out of the corner of her eye. When she turned to look, it was perfectly still. Then came the scratching sounds, faint at first, like tiny nails scraping against wood. They seemed to be coming from her closet, just a few feet away from where the doll sat. Every night, the noise grew louder, until it sounded like something was trying to claw its way out. By the end of the week, Donna started to wake up at exactly 3:13 a.m., each time feeling an intense sense of dread, as if something unseen was standing at the foot of her bed. Then, the notes began appearing. Little scraps of paper, written in a childlike scrawl, left in the doll's lap. The messages were short, but chilling. "Play with me. I see you. Let me in." The final straw came when Donna woke up one night to find the doll no longer in her room. Heart pounding, she stepped into the hallway. The air was thick and oppressive, as if something was watching her from the shadows. Then she saw it. The doll was sitting at the bottom of the staircase, its head turned completely around, staring directly at her. Terrified, Donna called her best friend and roommate, Angie, and explained everything. Though skeptical, Angie agreed to help. Together, they decided to test a theory. That night, they locked the doll inside a small wooden chest, placing a heavy stack of books on top. Then, they went to sleep. At exactly 3:13 a.m., Donna woke up to the sound of something slamming against her bedroom door. Bang, bang, bang. The sound was rhythmic, forceful, like tiny fists pounding from the other side. Summoning her courage, She reached for the light switch. Just as the bulb flickered on, the banging stopped. Silence filled the room. She slowly opened the door. The chest was wide open. The books were scattered across the floor. And the doll? It was sitting upright in the middle of the hallway, its tiny hands resting on its lap. Donna and Angie screamed. That was the night they decided they needed help. Desperate for answers, the girls sought out a local paranormal researcher. When he arrived, the air in the apartment grew unnaturally cold. His face paled as he examined the doll. This isn't a normal haunting, he murmured. Something is attached to this doll, something dark. He attempted to communicate with the spirit through an EVP, electronic voice phenomenon, session. As he played back the recording, a faint, whispering voice came through the static. She's mine. The room temperature plummeted. A loud crash echoed from the kitchen. Rushing in, they found every single drawer and cabinet wide open, dishes shattered across the floor. The investigator turned to Donna, his expression grim. You need a priest. Now. Word of the haunted doll reached Ed and Lorraine Warren, the famous demonologists. They agreed to investigate, and when Lorraine entered the apartment, she immediately clutched her cross. This is no child's spirit, she whispered. This is something far worse. She explained that the entity attached to the doll was not a ghost, but something demonic. It had been pretending to be a lost soul to gain Donna's trust. The Warrens took the doll with them, sealing it inside a holy blessed glass case at their occult museum. As they drove away with the doll in the back seat, Lorraine suddenly gasped. What's wrong? Ed asked. The doll, she whispered. It just smiled. To this day, the doll, Annabelle, remains locked in the Warrens' occult museum, encased behind thick glass with a sign that reads, Warning, do not open. Visitors who have mocked or taunted the doll have suffered terrible accidents, with some dying under mysterious circumstances. One couple, after visiting the museum, laughed at the legend and banged on the glass case. On their way home, they crashed their motorcycle into a tree. The man died instantly. The woman survived, but she later admitted that, just before the accident, she had seen something in the road. A doll. Smiling. Waiting. Do you believe in cursed objects? Would you ever dare visit the Warrens Museum and stand face to face with Annabelle? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, some dolls are meant to be left alone.